Okay, so we have looked at a phase shift and a period change. These examples are going to be period changes as well, but if you notice, these are negative thetas. How does that play into how we're solving this? The problem here is going to arise when we go to solve for theta at the end. If we divide by a negative, all of our answers are going to be negative, but they're supposed to be between 0 and 2 pi. So the issue is the fact that I only want the answers from 0 to 2 pi. I only want positive answers. But if I divide by a negative, I'll get all negatives. So let me show you that, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to fix it. So here, I want to figure out where does tangent equal 1, right? So that's going to be, let's say, that's pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4. We already know we're going to rotate around 3 times, but to save time, I'm just going to show what happens when I come in and I multiply by that negative 1/3. So I'm going to multiply all of these by negative 1/3. I'm going to get negative pi over 12 and negative 5 pi over 12. These are all negative, which means I'm not going to use any of them. Even if I showed all 3 rotations, they're all going to end up negative because I'm multiplying by a negative 1/3. So to counterbalance that, what we're going to do is we're actually going to find our solutions backwards. We're going to rotate backwards. So I'm looking here. I've got my tangent inverse of 1 equals negative 3 theta. So instead of looking at my unit circle and getting pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4, I'm going to rotate backwards to these angles, right? So I'm going to say if I go backwards, negative 3 pi over 4, that puts me in the 3rd quadrant. And if I rotate negative 5 pi over 4, that's going to rotate, not 5 pi, sorry, that's got to be 7 pi over 4. That's going to put me in the 1st quadrant, but backwards. And now, instead of adding 2 pi, I'm going to subtract 2 pi to both of these because I have to rotate around 3 times. So that's going to be negative 11 pi over 4 and, okay, that's negative 15 pi over 4. So there's for 1 rotation, 2. So I'm going to negative 19 pi over 4 and negative 23 pi over 4. So all of these are equal to my negative 3 theta. So I'm going to go in now and I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1/3. So I'm going to get negative times a negative, that's positive pi over 4. 7 pi over 4, 11 pi, oops, I'm multiplying by a third, so that's 7 pi over 12. 11 pi over 12, 15 over 3, that's going to be 5 pi over 4, 19 pi over 12, and 23 pi over 12. So to counterbalance the fact that I have this negative rotation, I rotate backwards. Same angle, but it's coterminal negative angle. So these are my answers for theta. Okay, so we've got a problem over here. It's got 4 rotations, so it's going to be a little bit longer. Go ahead and hit pause, see if you can figure this one out. Come back and solve it with me. All right, welcome back. I'm going to go ahead and erase this because I'm going to need a little bit more space to solve. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to find where cosine equals 1/2. And I'm going to have to do that backwards. So it's positive. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be here. So to get there, rotating backwards, that's going to be a negative pi over 3 and a negative 5 pi over 3. This is quadrant 4. This is quadrant 1, rotating backwards. And I'm going to have to go around 4 times. So I'm going to subtract 2 pi, which is the same as subtracting 6 pi over 3. So I'm going to have negative 7 pi over 3, negative 11 pi over 3. 2nd rotation. So now I'm going to have negative 13 pi over 3 and negative 17 pi over 3. There's my third rotation. And see if I can fit that here. Negative 19 pi over 3 and negative 23 pi over 3. Okay, and then my final step here is I'm going to multiply everything by a negative 1/4. So that's going to give me theta. I'm going to get positive 12, 5 pi over 12, 7 pi, 11, 13, 17, 19, and 23. Woo! All over 12. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 answers. So with that negative rotation, we have to rotate backwards. So here's my negative pi over 3, and then I'm rotating up here, which is my negative 5 pi over 3. Yeah? Okay, go forth and solve. Good luck.